Dear friends, timeless tales, that is the most precious gift that each of us can give to life. In the hustle and bustle of life, there are times when we forget that the most beautiful thing is not the great things we achieve, but the small loves we share every day. Who would have thought that the man I called father every day, the man who brushed my hair before school and kissed my forehead goodnight, was silently raising me to be his wife? That my childhood wasn't a childhood at all, but a long, well-planned rehearsal for a role I never auditioned for, a bride trapped in a ritual no one ever warned me about. My name is May, and what I'm about to tell you will make you question everything you think you know about family, love, and evil. We lived in a quiet house in the woods, just far enough from the city to make running away impossible, but close enough to appear normal to the outside world. To neighbors, we were a picture-perfect family, a loving father and his shy, obedient daughter. But within those walls, the rules of the world twisted into something dark, something grotesque. My mother? She disappeared when I was 6. Everyone said she died of illness, but I remember that night vividly. The screaming, the chanting, the scent of burnt herbs, and something metallic in the air. No one asked questions. No one dared. From the time I could speak, my father fed me fairy tales about divine unions and sacred rituals. He told me I was chosen, special, that one day, when I became a woman, I'd take my rightful place beside him, not as a daughter, but as a bride. Of course, I didn't understand then. I just nodded and smiled, thinking it was make-believe. That was the magic of his grooming. It never felt like abuse. It felt like destiny. When I turned 12, the real conditioning began. He pulled me from school, said the world was corrupt, full of temptations that would ruin my purity. My days were filled with lessons not of math or history, but of submission, devotion, and sacred femininity. I was taught how to serve tea perfectly, how to bathe in rose oil, how to walk with silence. Every move watched, corrected, praised, or punished. There were rules for everything, and breaking one meant kneeling on salt for hours, while chanting prayers I didn't understand. And then came the dream journal. He made me keep one, said the God spoke through dreams. Every morning, he would sit beside me, reading my childish scribbles with an intensity that made my skin crawl. If I dreamed of a boy at the market or a woman with short hair, I was punished. If I dreamed of him, he called it prophecy. He believed the spirits had chosen me to be his divine counterpart. I started to fake dreams just to avoid pain, just to stay safe. But inside, something was breaking. The ritual was set for my 18th birthday. He told me this like it was a wedding announcement. He even handed me a silk gown, white with crimson embroidery, and said, "This is your destiny, my dove." I wanted to scream, to run, but there was nowhere to go, no one to trust. I had no friends, no relatives. He'd made sure of that. The week before the ceremony, he began the cleansing. Every day I was bathed, fed herbal concoctions, and made to fast. I wasn't allowed to speak unless spoken to. I wasn't allowed to cry. If I shed tears, he said it would anger the gods. Every night, he sat beside my bed, holding my hand, whispering verses from a tattered book soaked in old blood, and something darker. The night before my 18th birthday, something snapped. I had a dream, not one I wrote down, not one I ever told him about. I was running, barefoot through a burning forest, chased by a figure that looked like him, but with eyes made of fire. I fell, and a voice, my mother's voice, screamed from the flames. "Run, May. Run now." I woke up in a cold sweat, heart pounding like a war drum. That morning, I knew I wouldn't survive the ritual. I knew it wasn't just symbolic. Something would be sacrificed, and it would be me. Not just my body, my soul. I pretended to be calm, obedient, the perfect daughter bride. But I was counting the minutes, planning. He led me to the altar, our basement, transformed with symbols drawn in chalk and candles dripping blood-colored wax. He wore ceremonial robes. His eyes shone with madness. He called me his goddess, his queen, his chosen. As he began to chant, I saw the dagger on the altar's edge, ancient, curved, humming with energy. I wasn't sure what it was for, but I knew it wouldn't end with just vows. And that's when I did the unthinkable. I ran, not up the stairs, but down deeper into the crawl space behind the altar where he thought I'd never go. I had seen him hide things there before. Old boxes, journals, bones. I didn't know what I was looking for, but I found it, a phone. Dead, dusty, but hidden like it was forbidden. I grabbed it and ran, using the darkness as my cloak. He chased me, screaming, begging, then threatening. I reached the trapdoor to the back garden, my body bruised, lungs burning. I didn't care. I burst into the night, barefoot and bleeding, and screamed for help. A neighbor, someone I'd only seen from a distance, heard me, called the police. They found the altar, the books, the evidence. He was arrested that night. But the scars? They stayed. Therapy helped. A little. But what really helped was telling my story. Because no one expects monsters to wear the face of a father. No one thinks evil can live in a bedtime story or a glass of warm milk. But it can. And it does. And I'm still learning to live after surviving the ritual that tried to erase me. I share this not for pity, but for the others out there. The ones who are still trapped. Still being groomed. Still being told it's love when it's really control. If that's you, run. Even if your voice shakes. Even if no one believes you. Even if he says he loves you. Because real love doesn't hurt. Real fathers don't marry their daughters. And secrets like mine? They destroy everything they touch.